Welcome folks, Hextera here, and in this video I'll be breaking down the 2 ascendancies shown for the Sorceress class from the Path of Exile 2 Endgame Content Reveal video. The link will be in the description below. First up we have the Stormweaver. Looking at this ascendancy tree, there are 20 nodes in total, 10 of which are small nodes, and 10 are notable nodes. From the footage we know 2 of the purple tinted nodes are lightning themed, and 1 is determined by the element used. My guess is the blue tinted nodes will be focused more around the ice element, as 2 of the purple tinted nodes are shown to be focusing more on the lightning elements. I came to this conclusion because the backing art shows ice on the ground, an ice shell around the sorceress, and lightning coming out of her hand, which seems this ascendancy leans more towards the ice and lightning elements, so I'm expecting the nodes we haven't seen, or the skills, to follow that kind of premise. We'll start with the first node shown for the Stormweaver Ascendancy. Tempest Caller creates an elemental storm when you critically hit with a spell. Depending on which element type was used determines what kind of storm will appear. From the footage we see a fireball crit, a firestorm appears. When a lightning spell crits, a lightning storm appears. And when an ice spell crits, an ice storm appears. I would be interested to see if using a non-elemental spell still triggers this effect, as the tooltip does not state that an elemental spell has to crit to create the storm in the first place. Maybe a physical spell or a chaos spell just creates a standard wind tornado. The second notable was Strike Twice. Targets can be affected by 2 of your shocks at the same time, but reducing your shock duration by 50%. Thanks to the third notable shown, Shaper of Storms, all damage can contribute to shock, so keeping that shock stacked will be easier, and that also applies to non-elemental damage as well. Shock is an elemental alignment associated with lightning that causes the affected target to take increased damage from all sources, so being able to double stack could potentially lead to some crazy damage bonuses. For the notable nodes we have seen so far, this ascendancy seems to be more focused around the passive skills, but this is only what they've shown us, and with 7 more notables, I'm sure there's going to be some spicy skills to discover. The Stormweaver will probably work best with elemental spell focused builds, although again, since we've only seen 3 out of the 7 notable nodes, that could all change on the 6. 2 of the nodes I expect to see would be first similar to the Shaper of Storms, but instead of shock, all spells would apply chill. The second would be something like the Witch Occultist Ascendancy node, Frigid Wake, from Path of Exile 1, which would probably just be the periodic freezing effect from that. The second ascendancy shown is the Chronomancer. There are only 16 nodes in total, 8 of which are small nodes and 8 are notables. From the footage shown at the early access reveal, we see what 3 of the notables can do. Ultimate Command grants the skill Timefreeze. We can see it freezes time for just under 3 seconds. Then 6 seconds after the initial cast, they seem to cast Timefreeze again. This time the enemies are frozen for half the duration compared to the first, which looks like there are diminishing returns for this skill. The Timefreeze ability itself was cast 6 seconds apart, meaning either it was reset using the Time Snap ability, or the Timefreeze ability itself has a cooldown of no more than 6 seconds. I would be interested to know the drop-off time for these diminishing returns, as for boss fights this could really change this ability's effectiveness for bossing, and if other effects such as stun and freeze also have diminishing returns, would be a big change in how we combo and use certain skills, although this is not 100% confirmed and is just what I've observed from the footage, so please take that with a huge pinch of salt. The next node we saw was Footprints in the Sand, granting the skill Temporal Rift, enabling the sorceress to teleport back to a previous location, resetting its life and mana to what they were when you first used the skill. The fact that this will act as not only a movement skill, but also a way of regenerating your life and mana, will be a great utility ability, but could definitely become a double-edged sword. For example, if you use this skill while on low health, then use a life flask to top yourself back to max, Then Temporal Rift activates, teleporting you back with your low life and mana again. If any ailments such as burning or poison effects are on you, it could lead to your death, as it did not state it would remove any such ailments. The last notable was Unbound Encore, granting the skill Time Snap, enabling you to reset all your cooldowns to recast your spells again. PoE tends to keep cooldowns on utility skills rather than damage abilities, but this will still be useful with the right build. Generally, from what we've seen of the Chronomancer so far, this seems like an ascendancy that can be very useful with many different builds. As the Stormweaver seems to be more tailored towards elemental spell builds, the Chronomancer could literally be used for all types. Like a Titan Grip build that can freeze time and teleport while smashing enemies and using its and resetting its cooldowns like Warcry abilities for instance. Or maybe a Ranger type build with bows or crossbows. It seems like it could be a very versatile ascendancy. I plan on playing the Sorceress or the Witch on the 6th of December. As for what ascendancy, I'm more leaning towards the Stormweaver on the Sorceress and the Blood Mage for the Witch. But until I can have a look at the new passive trees with the different notables and keystones, along with what other stuff we have yet to see on the ascendancy trees, I'm not really 100% yet. I made this video primarily since I was going to break down the video for myself and thought I might as well make a video out of it for others to see as well. Any information, opinions or build ideas, drop in the comments below folks. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful, consider hitting that like, subscribe and bell icon. From the 6th of December onwards, I will be streaming PoE 2, so check out my Twitch which is linked in the description below. Thanks for watching folks, see you later.